Success, it's something we all chase, yet for many, it always feels just out of reach. No matter how hard you work, how many late nights you spend grinding, or how many self-help books you read, something always seems to hold you back. But what if I told you that there's just one thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted? One invisible force that keeps you stuck, no matter how much effort you put in. And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's there. There was a time when I felt the same way. I had the vision, the passion, and the drive, but I kept running into the same wall over and over again. I watched others rise to success while I stayed stuck in the same place, wondering what I was doing wrong. Maybe you felt that too. That frustrating feeling of moving but never really getting anywhere. It's exhausting. It makes you question yourself. Maybe you start believing that success just isn't meant for you. But what if I told you that the real problem isn't your talent, your resources, or even your circumstances? I came across a lesson that changed everything. A realization so powerful that once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And when I finally understood it, things started to shift. The way I worked changed. The way I thought changed. And before I knew it, the results started showing up. So what is this one thing that holds most people back from success? What is this invisible barrier that keeps even the most hardworking, talented people from reaching their full potential? Stay with me, because once you see it, you'll never look at your journey the same way again. I remember the exact moment when I finally saw it, the thing that had been holding me back for years. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't a lack of talent. It wasn't even bad luck. It was something much deeper, something hidden just beneath the surface, shaping every decision I made, every risk I didn't take, every opportunity I let slip away. But before I could fully understand it, I had to go back and look at where it all started. When I was younger, I believed success was a simple equation: work hard, stay consistent, and eventually the results would come. I saw people around me winning, building their dreams, achieving things that seemed impossible. And I told myself, I can do that too, . But no matter how much effort I put in, I always seemed to fall short. I would start something with passion, but then doubt would creep in. I would tell myself I wasn't ready, that I needed more skills, more experience, more time. I'd make excuses, convincing, logical excuses that kept me from taking real action. I started to notice a pattern. Every time I got close to making a big move, something inside me pulled me back. It was like an invisible force whispering, *, what if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? And I listened to that voice. I let it control me. I let it decide what I could and couldn't do. The worst part? I didn't even realize it was happening. I thought I was just being practical, that I was waiting for the right time. But the truth is, there's no perfect time. There's no moment when you'll suddenly feel 100% ready, and waiting for confidence, for certainty, for some kind of guarantee is exactly what keeps people stuck. I started looking at other people who had succeeded. Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, people who had built something from nothing. I wanted to know what they had that I didn't. What made them different? What allowed them to break through when so many others gave up? And the answer wasn't what I expected. And the thing about fear is, it doesn't just stop you from taking action. It shapes your entire reality. It makes you play small. It convinces you that success is for other people, the lucky ones, the gifted ones, the ones who were born with something special. But that's a lie. Success isn't about being fearless. It's about learning to move forward despite the fear. It's about recognizing that fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to be in control. I started looking back at every time I had failed, every time I had given up too soon, every time I had hesitated when I should have acted. And every single time, fear was at the root of it. It made me wonder, how many people out there are stuck because of the same thing? How many dreams have been? The people who succeed aren't the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who learn to stop letting it make their decisions. They're the ones who take the leap, even when they're scared. They're the ones who understand that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. But knowing this wasn't enough. I had to do something about it. I had to start changing the way I thought, the way I responded to fear, the way I approached challenges. And that's when everything began to shift. I wish I could say it was easy, that I woke up one day and the fear was gone. But that's not how it works. Fear doesn't disappear. It's always there, whispering doubts, trying to pull you back into old habits. The difference is, I stopped listening. I stopped waiting for confidence and started taking action anyway. I stopped looking for guarantees and started trusting myself to figure things out. I stopped letting failure be the thing that defined me and started seeing it as proof that I was moving forward. And slowly, everything changed. The opportunities started coming. The progress started showing. The things I once thought were impossible suddenly weren't. And it wasn't because I became fearless. It was because I finally stopped letting fear win. So now I have to ask you, what about you? How many times have you let fear stop you? How many chances have you passed up, telling yourself it wasn't the right time? How many dreams have you put on hold because you were waiting to feel red? The more I thought about fear, the more I started noticing it everywhere, not just in my own life but in the people around me. Friends who talked about starting a business but never took the first step. Colleagues who had big ideas but kept them to themselves, afraid of looking foolish. Even strangers I met who would say things like, I've always wanted to do that, but... And then they'd follow it with an excuse, one that sounded completely logical. I started asking questions. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we let fear, something that exists only in our minds, have so much power over us? And the more I dug into it, the more I realized that fear doesn't just hold us back from taking action, it actually rewrites the way we see the world. It convinces us that the risks are bigger than they are, that failure is permanent, that rejection is unbearable. But none of that is true. I met a man at a networking event who told me his story. He had spent 15 years working a job he hated, always talking about starting his own company, but never making the leap. I told myself I was waiting for the right time, he said, but deep down I knew the truth. I was scared. Scared of failing. Scared of losing everything. Scared of looking stupid. When he finally worked up the courage to quit, he expected to feel free. Instead, he felt something else, regret. Regret for all the years he had wasted, all the time he could never get back. I could have started 10 years ago, he admitted, but I let fear steal an entire decade from me. That hit me hard. How much time had I already lost? How many opportunities had I let slip away because I was too afraid to take the next step? And how many people out there were doing the same thing, letting fear rob them of the life they actually wanted? I started thinking about all the ways fear disguises itself. Sometimes it shows up as procrastination. We tell ourselves we're just waiting for the perfect moment, but that moment never comes. Other times, it shows up as perfectionism. We convince ourselves that we need more knowledge, more skills, more experience before we can even begin. And then there's the worst one of all, the one that's so sneaky, most people don't even realize it's fear. Comfort. Comfort is the most dangerous trap of all because it feels safe, it feels familiar. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to leave. You tell yourself that things aren't bad, that maybe you should just be grateful for what you have, that dreaming too big is risky. But deep down, you know the truth. You know you were meant for more. I saw this pattern play out over and over again. I saw it in the artist who never shared his work because he was afraid of criticism, in the woman who stayed in a toxic relationship because she was afraid of being alone, in the man who never asked for a promotion because he didn't believe he deserved it. Fear wasn't just stopping people from chasing their dreams, it was shaping their entire lives. One night, I had a conversation that changed everything. A friend of mine, someone I deeply admired, looked me in the eye and said, "Do you know what your biggest problem is? You think you have time." Those words hit me like a brick, because he was right. I had been acting like I had unlimited time to figure things out, to build my dream, to step into the person I wanted to become. But time, wait for anyone. Every day that passes is a day you don't get back. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. That conversation haunted me for days. I started thinking about all the times I had told myself later. I'll take the risk later. I'll make the move later. I'll chase my dream later. But what if later never comes? What if I wake up 10 years from now in the exact same place, wishing I had started today? I realized something then. Fear doesn't go away on its own. It doesn't magically disappear when you reach a certain level of success or gain enough confidence. If you don't confront it, it stays, it grows. It tightens its grip until you don't even recognize yourself anymore. I knew I had to make a choice. Either let fear win or finally take control of my own life. But that's easier said than done, because fear isn't just a thought, it's a feeling. And feelings don't go away just because you understand them. You have the moment of decision came faster than I expected. It wasn't a big dramatic scene like in the movies. It was just a regular day until it wasn't. I was sitting at my desk, staring at an email that could change everything. It was an opportunity, the kind I had been waiting for. The kind I had dreamed of. And yet, instead of excitement, I felt something else. A familiar knot in my stomach. A voice in my head whispering, "Are you really ready for this? What if you mess up? What if you're not good enough?" My fingers hovered over the keyboard, hesitating. I had spent months, years, telling myself I was just waiting for the right moment. But what if this asterisk was the right moment? What if the only thing standing between me and the life I wanted was this single decision? The thought sent a chill through me, because deep down I knew this wasn't just about an email. This was about the times I had let fear decide for me. I closed my eyes and took a breath. My heart was pounding. Every excuse, every doubt, every insecurity I had ever felt was screaming at me to play it safe, to wait a little longer, to stay in my comfort zone. But then, a different thought broke through the noise. If you don't do this now, will you ever ? I opened my eyes, my hands shaking. And then, before I could think myself out of it, I clicked send. For a split second, nothing happened. And then, panic. A wave of regret crashed over me. What if this was a mistake? What if I just ruined everything ? I almost wished I could take it back. But it was too late. It was done. The weight of it settled in my chest. The next few days were agonizing. Every time my phone buzzed, my stomach flipped. I imagined every worst-case scenario. I replayed the decision over and over in my head, questioning everything. And just when I thought I couldn't take the waiting any longer, it happened. The response came. I stared at my screen, heart hammering. This was it, the moment that could change everything. My hands trembled as I clicked to open the message. And in that split second, between knowing and not knowing, I realized something. This was the real battle, not the email, not the opportunity. This moment right here. I should have felt relieved. After all, it wasn't a no. But instead, a new kind of fear crept in. The kind that comes when you realize you're deeper into something than you ever expected. I had already taken the first step, but now I was standing at a crossroads. I could either back out quietly, tell myself it just wasn't meant to be, or I could step into the unknown, knowing there were no guarantees. I forced myself to breathe. This was exactly what I had wanted, wasn't it? A shot at something bigger. A chance to prove to myself that I was done letting fear win. But knowing that didn't make it any easier. The email ended with a request, a meeting, face to face. No more hiding behind screens. No more carefully crafted words with time to overthink. This was real now. The weight of it pressed down on me. It wasn't just about this opportunity anymore. This was about me versus the version of myself that always hesitated, that always second-guessed. I had spent my whole life running from these moments. Now there was nowhere left to run. I typed out a response, my fingers heavy on the keyboard. I hesitated for only a second before pressing send. The moment it was done, my stomach twisted with a familiar